Meet Jane. Jane and her friends love going to their local pub and playing around the pool. But Jane feels she's not very good at pool and wants to improve her skills in order to impress her friends. Given Jane's expertise in evidence-based learning strategies, she wants to ensure that she is practicing in the most efficient way to achieve her maximum potential. Jane recognizes that purposeful practice is one approach that she could use to effectively learn pool. Purposeful practice, proposed by Erickson and Poole, is the effortful practice of a skill with the intention of improving performance. Purposeful practice is comprised of 5 key elements. These include goal setting, feedback, time for practice, pushing beyond the comfort zone, and remaining focused during practice. While learning, researchers recommend that deliberate practice is the best way to learn a skill. This form of practice relies on access to expert instructors who have already figured out the best way to learn a skill. However, Jane does not know anyone who is an expert at pool, and therefore she chooses to engage in purposeful practice instead. To engage in purposeful practice, she must use the 5 elements of purposeful practice. First, Jane must set goals for her practice. While Jane has the main goal of learning pool, she must break this goal down into smaller, more manageable goals. For example, she first sets the goal of learning to use the correct hand position on the pool cue. Then she aims to break apart the rack of balls by hitting the white ball with the cue. Once Jane meets each goal, she continuously builds upon her completed goals with new, incremental ones.
Purposeful practice also requires that Jane receives high-quality feedback on her pool performance. This feedback needs to be both on external performance, such as the trajectory of the ball, and an analysis of why errors are made and where weaknesses are, such as the ball trajectory being affected by hand position. Jane's friend, Sally, is the best pool player in Jane's friend group. While Sally isn't sufficient enough to be an expert, and therefore not be able to dispense the best strategies for skill development in pool, she is sufficient enough to provide feedback. Therefore, Jane asks Sally to watch her play pool and provide feedback on Jane's performance and areas for improvement. The third element of purposeful practice requires Jane to create time for practice. To meet this requirement, Jane plans to practice pool for an hour a day after she's finished his work. By having her practice scheduled with sufficient allocated time, she ensures that more time can be given to the other principles of purposeful practice. Jane must also push past her comfort zone in order to engage in purposeful practice. This means she must continuously aim to improve her weaknesses and focus on what she can't already do. For example, Jane finds it difficult to hit a ball that is far away from the white ball, so she allocates more of her practice time to hitting faraway balls. This keeps Jane challenged throughout the practice and helps her improve her weaknesses.
This brings us to the final element of purposeful practice that Jane must engage in. This final component is focus. Jane must give her pool practice her full attention and resist practicing on autopilot. To improve her focus, Jane could try using earplugs to minimize noise distractions and ensure her phone is tucked into her bag to avoid distracting text messages. By focusing during her pool practice, Jane increases the long-term retention of her newly gained pool skills. Jane has been using the 5 elements of purposeful practice for a few weeks now. She decides it's time to test her new skills out at the pub with her friends. After an intense round of pool, Jane has won her very first game. Her friends are so impressed with Jane's new skills, they even ask her what her secret to success was. Jane replies, "It's simple. I just practice with purpose." Jane's story is just one example of how purposeful practice can be used to learn a new skill. Purposeful practice can be used for a range of skills, from sports to music or to learning a new language. So next time you set out to learn a new skill and don't have access to an expert instructor, try incorporating the elements of purposeful practice to reach your maximum potential.